writing so many stories about these robots. So that time the robot was not existing, and even though he was writing the technical aspects of the robot, like the fundamental laws of robot, by assuming himself, the robot will be taking the human being, overtaking the human being. By keeping that in mind, he started writing a lot of stories and the series of stories. Okay, all these he was writing, and the fundamental laws of the robotics. He should not take away the job of human being, and it has to serve the human being, and it has to obey the human being. It has to protect itself. Some of the laws are there. Okay, these are not required for our syllabus. Now, let me go through the definition of the robot. Since after 1941, in 1979. You can see that the people started using in America. In America, first it was approved in the American Air Force. Then after that, a small machine which can able to repeatedly do the job of pick and place. Pick and place. The basically, once you say the robot, it will be meant for basically at least a pick and place earlier. Now in 1979, once the robot they started using in the industries, in a matter of 1 decade, they found more than 12,000 robots were working in the industries. So you can see the strength of robots, how it can be a part of automation and it can be used in automation. Okay, so once after that, the robotic family have taken the shape, and there was an institution called Robotic Institute of America. Okay, and in the earlier days, the people were talking about the robot definition. It is a automatic machine or a mechanism. It can perform a pick and place job. Or a robot which is a programmable machine, we can program it to do flexibly whatever the functions he required. Like that, different definitions were given by different people. Once after, in 1979, the RIA has taken shape. Robot Institute of America has taken shape. There was a definite definition for the robot. So before I get into the robot definition, let me discuss some things in this. The robot is having, so before I get into this, the definition, I'll get into a very simple aspect, the robot parts, then you can able to understand. And the robot construction is very resembles to the human being body construction. I have a brain, the robot is having a controller, and I have a wrist, the robot is having a wrist, and of course my wrist can able to do multi degrees of freedom, it can rotate. The robot wrist can do only 3 degrees of freedom. It is having roll, pitch and yaw. Roll, pitch and yaw. Okay, and I have a skin and the skeleton structure. The skeleton structure is one of the rigid part of the human being body, and it will be tough enough and it can able to bear the physical structure of the body. In the similar way here, the robot is having a mechanical linkage that is called as manipulator. Manipulator is a mechanical linkage of the robot. One end is fixed to the earth, other end is exposed to the end effector. End effector is just like my wrist. Okay, and I have some sensory capacity. The skin can able to sense the cold and hot. Okay, the tongue can able to taste the taste. Okay, taste it, and the nose can smell it, ears can hear it, and eyes we can able to see the sight. So all these are the interfacing sensors for the human being. But the robot is also having the sensors. At various levels, the sensors will be used for the robot. Okay, so kindly look into the main parts of the robot are the manipulator. It is a mechanical structure of the robot. The end effector, and at the end effector there will be the fingers will be there, and this end effector the wrist can able to perform 3 degrees of freedom, roll, pitch and yaw. Okay, and all this will be worked within the control loop that is called the controller. A controller is there which will be taking the instruction and give the instruction as and when it required. And there will be sensory level, the sensors will be there for the robot. And after this, I have a nerve system. I can able to perform some functions. In the similar way, the robot has to do some physical functions that will be by means of drives. There are basically three types of drives. One is a hydraulic drive, other one is a pneumatic drive, and another is a electrical drive. Hydraulic drive is one which will be using the hydraulic oils and the cylinders for heavy jobs. Okay, pneumatic cylinders, it will be using the compressed air. The air will be compressed and in the cylinder, and it will be sent into the compressor for the storage and it will be used. And electric drives will be used for by using the electric drive systems. And the usage of all these electrical, hydraulic and pneumatic drives will be based on the application for which it is meant for. Okay, maybe it is required to have the uniform torque and the heavy torque with the lesser speed, high speed with the high torque. Okay, and very good repeatability, accuracy. All these will be mattering in selection of the different type of drives. Okay, these are the system. And now let me come to, as I told you, let me come to the definition of the robot. According to Robotics Institute of America, robot is reprogrammable. We can able to do programs many times so that the robot can be assigned every different kind of jobs. Reprogrammable, multifunctional, it can able to perform more than one function. Multifunctional, manipulator. Manipulator is a mechanical structure of the robot which is fixed at one end and opened at the other end to the end effector. Designed to move materials, parts, tools, okay, like that. And in a very simple way, I can able to say, robot is a multifunctional, reprogrammable manipulator which performs the series of functions like pick and place to complex assembly operations by or through variable programming. You can able to understand, I think. Robot, it is reprogrammable, multifunctional manipulator which can perform the series of functions like pick and place to complex assembly operations through variable programming. This is called as the robot definition as per the Robotics Institute of America. We can able to understand what is reprogrammable. It can be programmed many times. Multifunctional, it can perform more than one function, and it can perform series of functions like pick and place. Basically, whenever you say that robot word, it will be meant for a dull job, pick and place. Repeatedly it has to do perform some logics like pick and place to complex assembly operations through variable programming methods. And today the robot scenario is different, that we will be discussing later. And we are into the cyber technology. The cyber technology is one. It will be it will be a robot hand. It can be interfaced with the human body, and the robot can be controlled by the human mind. It is called the cyber technology. Okay, we are into this, and we can see them. What are the applications? In the discussing about the applications, we can get into all these the wonderful technology what we have seen today, and where the robot can be used. Simply, as I told you in the previous yesterday in the class, robot is not simple machine, can be used anywhere. It's not. The life of the robot will be decided based on its working cycle. Number of working cycles. It is not like our bicycle. Okay, it is robot is very sensitive nature. Okay, it has to be used properly with justification. And where all the robot can be used, basically where there exist 4 Ds. The job is dull, the job is dirty, the job is dangerous, the job is difficult. Then we can use the robot. And what are these 4 Ds? We just will try to see them. The dull. The job is dull in the sense, very simple example I'll take you. I have been nominated one person to do very sincerely one job at my office. Simply what he has to do, he has to lift the pen from one table and keep over the other table. And he has to lift the same pen from that table B and keep over the same table A. And again lift the pen from table A to B. Like that throughout the day he has to do the similar kind of job. Pick and place, pick and place. So if the job is a pick and place, it doesn't require any kind of techniques, and we are not going to use any kind of techniques or the intelligence in working this. That will be called as a dull job. Throughout the day, throughout the shift, throughout the week, all the days will be working on a simple pick and place job that will be called as dull job. Okay. Now let me get into the dirty. The job is dirty. It is not white color job. It is not white color job. The job is dirty. Okay. There, for example, I am going to lift the waste. Okay, I am going to lift the waste, and I am going to do a painting operation. I am going to do some kind of the dirty jobs which will not be keep your clean hand. So those things can be called as a dirty job. And the dangerous job. The danger in the sense what it will be slightly dangerous for the human being. Very simple example I will take you. Nuclear waste, lifting the nuclear waste. Lifting the nuclear waste. It will be very dangerous job. Okay, it is dangerous job. And I am going to pour the molten metal into a die cavity. Molten metal, already you know that the temperature of the molten metal will be more than 2000 degrees centigrade. And it will be taken into the crucible and poured into the die's cavity to make some kind of the mechanical components. In such situation, if the human being is involved in this, what happens? A slightly problem or any functioning happen, and you know that it will be dangerous for the life. Those things are called the dangerous jobs. Those are called the dangerous jobs. And when you can say the job is difficult, and I told you in the yesterday class, anything which is difficult for the human being cannot be done by any machines. Human being is one very well structured system, okay, in the nature, and it can able to do any kind of job, any complicated jobs. But only the one condition is that the similar kind of job, if I have to give once again within a restricted time, it will not be possible. Then we say it is a difficult job. It is a difficult job. So whenever I want to have very accurate jobs to be done within a given amount of time, that has to be, then in that case, we are going to assign the robot to do those repeated jobs, even though they are complicated. So when the job is done, when the job is dirty, when the job is dangerous and the job is difficult, we need to go for the robot, to assign the robot. And there are certain calculations. If you want, you can even go through the internet also, you can go through, or you can go through Gruer and Jafir, and so many books are there, Lee and few, and so many books are there, you can go through them. Or if you want, you can come to me, I'll be giving you can able to do certain calculations wherein essentially we can really use the robot or not in the program. Okay. Whether we need to assign the robot for this particular task or not, we can able to justify. Now, let me go through certain